Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. President and Chairman of Council, our able brother and friend, Mr. Taiwo Bega, my distinguished Vice President and my sister, Mrs. Fumi Ekundayo, a chairperson, my very good friend, I call him chair all the time. There's remained to be the chair, Mr. Antonio Goma, the chairman of the membership committee, and my distinguished and highly respected past president, who is always there following all our events and participating meaningfully in it. Dr. Nosike, welcome, sir. And also the past I've met on several occasions, several strategic sessions. So I wasn't surprised. You did exactly, you did a solid foundation for our discussion this afternoon. That's the person of Dr. Tayo Aduloju is one of the hopes that we have in this country. And I thank God that you are still around. I was just thanking God that man is still around. Yes, thank God. Because it's a bundle of potential. There's no doubt about it. He has laid a very solid foundation. And because of this, we go into the practical session of why we are here. But before I do that, I just want to also thank the council members, the president and his council members that are here. Sorry for not recognizing you individually because of time. You have done a very good, wonderful thing. But it takes two to tango. What we have seen in most institutes is that there is no feedback mechanism. People will be grumbling, and the institute will be going on their own, and everything will continue like that. And it reaches a stage, you will start dropping. You will start dropping off. And before you realize it, we share a talk together. I said I was growing up as a young professional in this country. ICSAM was one of the highest, highly respected professional body in Nigeria. In fact, when you mention ICAN, ICAN and ISAM were. In fact, a lot of organizations employ charter secretaries as their chief accountant. And I can count more than 5 people that we used to read together at that time who were charter secretaries. That was what they have, and they were charter accountants because it was a broad-based, institute. The question we ask ourselves is that where have you gotten it from? And I will share my own experience based on my interaction with ICSAM. As an observer, maybe as a consultant, mini consultant, I came to ICSAM in 2011, start our exam. And when this assignment was given to me, I asked myself a question. How has been the trajectory between 2011 to date? What is the level of our movement? And I asked that question myself, and I provided the answer that we have been moving at arithmetic progression. And are we supposed to be moving at arithmetic progression? They said no, we ought to be moving at the geometrical progression. And we supply statistics that can be confirmed. One of the shocking things I had when I got to the institute was the membership number. It was ridiculously low. I said, these were the things we are dreaming about in those days. That we see, I can't go what is happening. Another thing I also discovered as we walk along is that a lot of people have commitments that are not even available in other institutes. You see past presidents, you see a lot of people spending their time and energy for the institute, but they were just like a giant without soldiers, a general without soldiers. Only very few people working, while others are just, demonstrating and decorating themselves with ACIS. So I'm laying that foundation so that we can appreciate the reason why this summit is very, very imminent. And I will ask some questions. I will answer some of those questions. And as I'm throwing the question to you, thank God I'm a full-fledged member now. I'm also throwing and challenging myself. And you will realize that I have the opportunity to serve in I did not less than about 5 different councils of different institutes. And I realized that at one time or the other, we were like you. There was some institute that were like you some years ago. And I will share some of the knowledge we borrow from people like Olanrewaju and everything that transform us. And I believe that if we can go on with that and allow that to change us individually and collectively, you will realize that our future is bright. The future of Ixan is bright. So I will go to my question, those questions. Give me 1 or 2 minutes. He has said something, which was the very first point. This association, this institute, is it of value? It must be of value. Every one of us must see it as a thing of value. And he explained so much time, I don't want to waste too much time on the issue of value. Value is not about naira and copper alone. Value we are talking about is that can you go out in your place of work and beat your share that I'm a chartered secretary? Believe you me or not, I have an array of other qualifications. But when this was bestowed on me, I moved to the highest body in my institution to put it in the ACIS. ACIS is the highest administrative body we have in Bako. We are not more than 10, determining the future of the institution. And I told the VC, I'm now a chartered secretary. You can see that the value is not that I need that thing for money, but I need it. That we have been taking permission to go from time to time to go as it. They have recognized my commitment. They have recognized that I have no modicum of contribution to make to the society as a whole. What do you think we have? The VC is waiting for that recognition. So I want to beseech all of us that we are here today. There is nobody that is not important. It depends on the way you package yourself. You must package yourself and know that you should be proud of this institute. And the only way you can be proud of the institute is when you, what you mentioned to us the other time, knowledge. That is power. You understand? There are things about governance they will say in my university. The VC will look at me like this. Yes, Prof, let's Prof talk on that matter. Why is he saying that? Because I will call a spade, not regarding to. So wherever we are, we must be an epitome of what these institutes represent. The value is very critical. Another thing is that what is the strategic intent? I felt that myself. Like I said, I felt guilty. As I was raising some of this question, I felt guilty. I said, I could be monitoring exam for the past something. Is there any strategic intent in place in our institute? I don't, it may be, but I don't even know. I'm ignorant. If I'm driving an exam, if I'm auditing an exam, do I want to continue to audit exam at the same pace that it was done 5 or 6 years ago? Because that something is wrong with me upstairs. Because the other people are moving. You understand? The train has left the station. It's not waiting for anybody. So I start asking, don't come across about the issue of the strategic plan. I've not had any registrar or anybody talking about it. That henceforth, I don't need to be a management team before I ask. Because part of my own assignment, we influence the success of the institute. If the exam, people are writing the exam, our exams are full, our exams are respected, there is some corporate governance which we are preaching in our exam and everything. What do you think we have? We will be gathering more students and more people to be coming. I beat my shares. Whether you like it or not, some of my students, I force them, I encourage them, I won't say I force them, but I encourage them to do this exam. How? I go extra mile. Because I know that today you may not like it, that this man is not allowed to rest, but I know that it's going to be a value addition in future. We must keep. If I had seen the strategic plan, maybe I would have raised the bar at my end and start doing more exploration. What is our plan? In the next 5 years, what is the number of membership? When the number of membership was mentioned, I got it by the chairman. I look at it, he said about 4,000 students. I shook my head. I said, 4,000, and not even all of us are still at it. That was the greatest, not even with the 4,000, they're not at it. I knew of an institute that have been done that we are talking of over 200 something. Active member of 170 something that we are believing that this is not in tune with our strategic plan. I don't know if you can be aware. It's nothing to. And there was a time when there was apathy. There was a time when things were not moving. You know, we started reaching out to people who have the knowledge, gather the knowledge together, like what we are doing. That's why I give credit to the council today. That internally we may not have all the knowledge, or at times we have the knowledge may be simple. You understand? Somebody need to wake up and say, oh, we have to hit the road running. And that was what we did. You understand? And before you realize it, when the value is coming into play, what do you think people want to associate with you? I was sharing it with registrars that said we organized some years ago, which is one of the points I want to challenge the management and all of us that are here to help the institute. The way forward is about technology. If an institute is not operating technologically, it cannot make any impact. And I thank God, since the dispensation of this new register, you have been seeing a lot of WhatsApp message, a lot of things. You know, you feel proud. It's not all the time you may even read everything, but you see that symbol. Yes, that is our institute. That is our institute. Because it's whatever is being mentioned regularly that people will not forget. On that Excel sheet, whatever is often repeated is often remembered. And whatever is not often repeated is often forgotten. If you don't want our institute to be forgotten, there is need for us to continue to challenge ourselves and make sure that we are on all the platforms, on Twitter, on everywhere. You know, let people be seeing us. It's when you are not seen, nobody will know you. And when nobody knows you, then even when you are valued and you are not known, then you won't be able to achieve anything. So I'm challenging myself, as we are looking for the strategic intent, even when we get it, we still need to go out. We try something. For the very first, when we knew the time I became the national treasurer, and we challenge ourselves. We want to cross a surplus of 500 million. Surplus. That was a challenge. After that strategic session, and we discussed some things to be done and everything. It's not magical. It's a question of trying to, you know, some of those things mentioned here, the hierarchy of people, you know, honoring some people, you know, make sure that people who have left, some people left the industry maybe because they didn't want to leave at the time they left. But if you don't greet them, if you don't send messages to them, which is part of the things that we are lacking here, we must do. In one of my institutes, they can use telephone and messages to kill you. Yes. My past president can be here. When you are waking up in the morning, you see the message. In the afternoon, you see the message. As you are coming, on the long week, they will be sending it to you. When you are getting to the Lagos, where are you? Are you a family member? Who way you want to get such a conference for the very first time, leverage of technology. This was one of the things mentioned to us that time. That we can't continue. We will struggle. We will carry materials, you know, all over from Lagos and everything to Abuja and everything. We are not getting results. And we said, this is technology era. What we are going to do this year, let's try it. Let's bring the president of Ghana to Nigeria. When the president is coming from another country, definitely the president of this country must be represented. Some people said it was impossible. It's everything that will not work. The other technology may need to. What do people need to do? We want to see the Ghana president speaking. He doesn't need to come to Nigeria. Not come to Nigeria. Buhari did not come to Nigeria. I was with him in Aso Rock. I was the one monitoring him and everything when he was speaking. I was the only one who went there. Everything was shown on this. And we said, let's use technology to operate, you know, this conference both in Lagos. Lagos State Governor was in Lagos, and people were sitting down there and everybody were shouting. We are in Abuja. Believe you me, we stopped registration for that conference, and we made 270 million profit on that project alone. So you can just imagine technology. We must invest in it. When some people like experts like you are saying, invest in it, some people, there will be some conservative who will just say that, hey, it's not technology alone. Are we not going to eat again? You understand? Thank God I have financial experts there. You must invest. Let us invest. Let's invest this. Then another thing I want, because we are talking of a brighter future. We are talking about brighter future. We can what? Leverage on the there's this. Want to share experience? We look at it. Some of us are growing up, whether you like it or not. It will reach a stage we won't be able to come for this kind of a conference. Yes, because I saw some babas in our last induction weeks who were doing like this. I stayed with them. I was tapping from the anointing. God, let me be like this, but they struggle to come. They may not be able to come all the way. One need nǹkan tí èdè bá ti ṣe àwọn tí èdè bá ti ṣe yóò fi lé ọmọ lọ́wọ́ òun náà máa kú ni. Because of my council member, I will interpret that any religion or anything you are doing, you are not carrying the youth along to study it and everything, we just die with you. In fact, they die before you die, because when you have the energy to be. So we need to focus. We said that last year. You know, we said, let's pick from the university. We made the suggestion, you know, from all our main schools. We may not be able to cover everything. Let them go to conference. With that, you can just imagine somebody, you know, staying in somebody in secondary school, staying in 18 hotel. It looks expensive, but I can assure you we are getting mileage. All those schools that participate and everything, you can just imagine the message they will have in the school to their rectors, to their VC. And everybody started shouting everywhere on the internet and everything. I was in 80. And you can just imagine we parade, like you said. What we did is that we brought all the MD, chief executive, all those people, they were shaking hands with them. I was there, we were talking to them and everything, and they were taking pictures. We even allowed them to do a dancing party before the conference. And we were there with them. That is the way, our way of yesteryears. Remember, no, the orthodoxies of yesteryears, they are the heresies of today. So we must allow, if we want to make the institute, we must reach out to those people. Another thing, I thank God, I mentioned it before, and the institute has started, is that you must give back to the society. It's not about the biggest things in the whole world. You understand? Something like scholarship. There's no way today, back up, for example, we'll be doing graduation. Exam will not happen. How much is exam given to them? Price for 2 weeks of the flag. You understand? So you can just imagine if that is replicated in all our main school. You can just imagine. And I'm very sure if the president or send anybody to that occasion, the person will be in position of honor and they are not. And when you are being announced in the place where we have about 5,000 people, and the thing is being televised live, it's the kind of thing we are talking about. We did it in another institute. We are piling billion upon billion. People are struggling. Reach out to the people and we start building theater. We have already built 6 theater in all the 6 geopolitical zones. There is no state we have gone to that have not shaken with the government. Unknown to us, those little things, how much have you spent? Average of 45 to 60 billion. Those people. The government is so happy. A lot of them, the money they pocket they use, they get as bribe is much more than that. But they can't fathom how somebody without requesting just decided, and institute decided, we use our brand for the place. All the papers were carrying it and everything. So for those in management position and council members, it may just be scholars, like I said. We must reach out to people. We must reach out to the community. And the reason, like you mentioned something, which is always the question with most members, what is a need for me? What is a need for me? We must not just leave it to the community and jettison those people who are members. Like I said, just mere visitation, just mere sending text message, just mere organizing a program. I went to India. That was when God opened my eyes. We did education talk. You know, at times, as the institute continued to grow, you see a lot of things that are happening in other jurisdictions you marvel. I saw the Institute of Bankers in India. I look at the place. Is this a bank, one of the best banks there? There's no reason. You can see it's an institute and everything. I look at the cost share that was there. I look at everything that was there. I went to their research center, which is something we can imitate here. I said, research center, who are these people? Then it's registered to do that. What we normally do is that anybody when immediately you retire in any bank and everything, there is a hall for them, well furnished, with all the newspaper, with all the materials, with internet ready, where those retirees come and pull down their knowledge. The experience is gathered over the years. I was marveled. In fact, they have more we know, but the one who took us. The book we saw there was more than 100 and something, written by practitioners. Just imagine. They are doing two things at the same time. They are helping those retirees and using their knowledge and die early. You understand? We have a place where they will talk. If it's new people I know, some of their colleagues, they will share knowledge. So I think some of these things that we should be thinking about them because they will go a long way. Because the reason why some of our old members that have been abandoned is that some of them need little things, newspaper. So you is nothing. How much is it? But it's something to them. Creating is a room that you are not at AGM. There's a place you can come and read newspaper. What is the cost of newspaper? Even if that can supply it, we talk to some people, supply this because of the benefits that some old members will have. Then you can do discretionary subscription. You understand? When somebody is in some institution when you are about 60 or 65, they start, reducing, the subscription you make. You understand? They look very small, but for somebody who is not having regular income, it is something very significant, and we must look at this. Then, what does another question I ask myself is that what opportunity does the platform, that is this platform, offer for its corporate members? You understand? He mentioned something the other time. The individual may not have strong financial strength, but corporate body, you understand? This is a significant role in the life of an institution. You can reach out to them. How many people are working in social? You reach out to them. We create, like he said the other time, we create a sub-membership within the bigger members. Maybe those people in the banking industry, those people, even in the academia. Some years ago, out of my initiative, I just believe that for those of us who are there, we're supposed to be the brain box of the institute. I created something we call Association of Professional Bankers in Education. So the institute can do that, so that these are the people who will be in the forefront, doing the intellectual something which you mentioned the other time, so that it isn't just that we are talking about it when we take a step of it to make sure that we actualize it. We need things like that. As soon as members, corporate members, can see benefits. In our last AGM, we did a research that was given out and we spent money on it. And you asked what was the result about the issue of people interpolarizing and leaving the country. So we're able to carry out thorough research on it, put it in a book form, all the MDs and all the key people that were there, and the presentation was made to everybody, and those documents, they went home with it. It's a value addition, you understand? For any company secretary, for any head official who sees that he'll be able to, because all the reasons why the people are capitalizing are there, all the methods that we can use to ameliorate it are there. So we must make sure that it is not just about us as individuals alone, it is also, it should involve some other people as well as the corporate level. I said, is there any position for a young professional to aspire to run for the leadership or the position, under the umbrella body? You understand? Some of the youth, they are not like us. They don't want to stay here, they don't want to stay here 15 years before anybody will ask them, maybe you can go to council. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a standard, but the standard must be clearly defined and take cognizance of the exigency of time. I was very glad when one of my little girls that was sponsored to come and write this thing was made the financial secretary also in Ogun State chapter. Those are the case. You can just imagine the enthusiasm. You put it on all the something that they have been elected. Everybody in this bar, I can one of his own guy, but not be elected. He's a member. I said, stay there. I'm very brilliant guy. Made first class in law school, and it's one of his in 10th class, making waves. So before you realize it, it can decide to come. So we must create, a template that will allow them to be able to actualize, their dream. So this program offer opportunity for career advancement, very, very important. Career advancement. It is when we are talking about career advancement, it's not just to get the qualification, like Mr. Dulu said the other time. It's not about, there must be something after that. And knowledge is not stagnant. Knowledge is improving. So we must create an atmosphere, occasionally things like this, in groups. You can do a group something so that where we share knowledge together, where we invite people to develop a member. Because whether we like it or not, our individual members are goodwill ambassadors of the institute. If they are in an office and they're not functioning very well, or there's no value proposition, on the table in their office, and then people will look down at the institute. They don't know what they're doing there. And that is why we need to be developing ourselves. And for those of us who are young in the profession, don't say that, this is my passport. I mentioned it during the introduction when I presented paper. It should not be a passport for self-satisfaction. It should just be the beginning, certification for you to start learning more, because knowledge is changing. And also, the global arena, the world itself has become a global village. We cannot be operating, thinking that it's Nigeria, it's Nigeria. I don't like it's Nigeria. You understand? It's global. And there are ways of doing it. There's no rocket science about it. All you need to do is to reach out to some of these institutes, show your certificates, show your curriculum, which is in tandem with their own, and they will give you one or two ACIS. Some of my students are, we are with them, all those things, Bangkok University, so that by the time they start seeing your name, in fact, all that they'll be approaching you. You have not approached also. We have seen your distance. What is wrong? Come and join us. And the era has gone when somebody will just say that I'm a shattered secretary at Pará. See all these people that stay on the table. One of my respected mentors, so my sister says, Professor. He said, you need knowledge. You must upgrade your knowledge from time to time. And when you are upgrading your knowledge, directly or indirectly, you just realize that some intrinsic value will come into play. You will start saying that it's like you know everything. You don't know everything. You only need to know small of everything. When you get at it, it becomes, very, very important. So we can see that we have a lot. I just want to mention some of the things that we need. If our institutes are not providing this, I look at what are the benefits of being a member institute that a typical human being want. So if we are not doing it very well, then we raise a bar. It's an access to other professionals. Like I said, it is no longer, a vogue to say that I'm one professional. In fact, what people parade does that I belong to so many people, and leaders have shown that part, that is necessary. So we must reach out to them. Those people in research, those people in education must reach out to other something that they can get a session. You don't need to do all the courses. Maybe one or two people you have done it, then they will add that to your business. Then the issue of mentoring is very, very key. You mentioned something like that. Mentoring is very, very key. If you don't have a mentor, you will just discover that one day you are not in tune with the reality of time. If there's somebody to inspire you, you will inspire. That's the truth. That must be somebody you are looking on to. You understand? When people like us came into this institute, we are looking at the past president. Do you know what I was studying? I was looking at, I realized that everybody they owe me to him. They owe me to this man. I don't think I mentioned to him. I know it's knowledgeable, but when they pay to him, I realized that they are changed to people. How many people have been trained? That's a challenge for every one of them. How many people have been trained by training? So we should challenge ourselves. By way of CCPD, even when we are qualified, community of practice, I have mentioned it, also mentioned it here. Additional professional qualification, like I said, what happened now, we can join with SIMA, we can join with CC, we can join here, we have Bangkok, university, some other institute. Then affinity and loyalty scheme. I think you also mentioned something like that. What we are trying to do is that the ordinary member, what do you stand to pay? There are some places I will be if I'm stranded. If I just go there and say I'm a member of CIBN, you understand? They will immediately allow me. If I go to Eaton and people are struggling and this is their standard accommodation, immediately I just show my card to them. They will go and do for accommodation for me. The kind of affinity. It doesn't take big thing to do that. All that is required is that our management should reach out to some of these people and create that image that this is our institute, this and they will tell you what it entails. It's not that we're giving them big money, but they know that anytime we have consultations with people, they'll be there for us. Group life insurance can also be taken. I don't know whether we have, things like that. Because of old age, because of when people die, or we don't bring people there, it can happen. Professional reference, which you also mentioned the other time, there's different professional reference from time to time. Yeah. Then comradeship, among ourselves, you realize that when coming to these institutes and face so many friends in this institute, you understand? The other time when the chairman of Lagos came, you understand, he was someone was introduced, we don't need to introduce to one another. But we have met in this institute and we have become friends. My friend, the APBN politician, we met there. Even when I could not recollect, he reminded me, yes, the last market we were there. That is the kind of thing. And I believe that if some of these things are put in place, we'll find out that our institute will continue to grow higher and higher. I will just quickly round up by mentioning some of the things that I believe some of them have already mentioned there. The membership expansion for value, must be thinking on how to increase our membership. Must be thinking. There are so many techniques you can use. We go to the school, go to the young ones, then you need to attract foreign professional bodies, like I said, foreign professional bodies. They are very easy. We just send your listening to them, they discuss with you, if they come here, you give them an exception. Exception is my exception. We give you a exception, you give us an exception. And there are some people who, now that even Dapa is raining, so they can go there and do something. Strong appetite for foreign professional bodies. I've mentioned that. Also, introduction of business group. We need to put this in place. Content of our curriculum and program. We shouted about that some years ago. But council is pleased to put that in place. So we want to thank the council. Pray that the knowledge gap will not be there. I was telling with the methodology that last week I was in MBT. I nearly went. I said this is why Nigeria is important. Their curriculum, was early year 2004, and we are in 2022. We have 40. As the assignment was supposed to be 1 week. We carry load of something. We are trying to change that syllabus. 2024. We are changing almost 80% of the syllabus. They are no longer relevant to anything. That is, you can't be teaching those people here. And that is why those people in the industry reacted that you have to retrain them. You have to retrain them. Some of them have not had about modeling before. Some of them have not had about fintech before. Somebody said it's doing finance. So we really need to continue and set the pace. The business, the institute are doing very well in this respect. We should sustain it so that we can maintain the list. Ethics and professionalism is also very key. It's the hallmark of this. You might be saying that we need money is true. But our members should be an epitome of integrity in the office. We should be able to be distinguished from just any ordinary person. Not in terms of skill, but in terms of ethics and professionalism. That this man, where the need to come, people will respect it. Very, very important. Trust and honesty, we must embrace. So we need to deepen the profession among the young ones, like I said, very, very important. And you all know that we must embrace change. Our leader, you must know that the only thing that is permanent, according to our cultures, is change. Change is inevitable. Whether you and I like it or not, it will come. And my small was very right when he said, those who refuse to change, that is the energy of the fools. And when you don't change, you remain in shades. And we don't want our institute to remain in shades. Rather, we want our institute to be the one that will be in charge. And you and I will be in charge. God bless you.